Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we're going to be covering the most exciting community day PvP focused Pokemon since Talonflame, since like Gyarados got Aquatail. This is like pretty game changing. In this, I'm talking about a Pokemon that was completely irrelevant, Walrein, to a Pokemon that's gonna be at like the center of not the center. It's gonna be like in the meta for Great League and Ultra League and all formats of Ultra League until it's banned in Ultra League Remix. So uh, pretty crazy Pokemon. I'm not gonna lie, right? So Walrein is Ice and Water type, so same typing as Celio, which is his pre evolution, and Lapras. And obviously, we know how great Lapras is in Ultra League, especially in Open, especially in Premier Classic. It's also good in like Premier Regular, but uh, Walrein will get access to Powder Snow as fast move. Currently, it has access to Waterfall and Frost Breath, and both those moves are much more damage oriented. Frost Breath being a slightly below average move, while Waterfall being an average move, but much more damage oriented. And Walrein, in terms of his charge moves, currently has like really great coverage in terms of charge moves. Ice, which is Blizzard, and ground, which is earthquake. Though like ice and ground like provide perfect coverage. So you can think about it like flyers, obviously weak to ice, and then steel types and ground types, steel types, fire types, etc. Weak to ground. So basically provides perfect coverage, right? Almost perfect coverage, I should say, in terms of that. There's very few Pokemon that exist in all the Pokemon universe that do resist both, and that's why like Pokemon like Mamoswine are so strong in Master League, just because the Avalanche Bulldoze provide such a fantastic coverage, and they're well, in this case Avalanche is a really good move. Bulldoze is a pretty trash move, but in this case Walrein has these really great coverage moves, like in terms of being able to cover the meta. But with Waterfall and Frost Breath, is not able to utilize those moves. But with Powder Snow, you're talking about taking away some of that damage, but increasing the energy, so you're able to get access to these charge moves, which will then provide like amazing. Like Walrein is gonna be absolutely incredible, and I really can't understate it. In terms of its charge moves, it's gonna have access to Icicle Spear, which is a new move in the game. All we know is that it's going to do 60 damage. It's also going to be a lower energy move. I'm really hoping 35 energy, because 35 energy means that Icicle Sphere plus Earthquake is going to be 100 energy. So if you farm something down, you could potentially bait with Icicle Sphere and then EQ something where you need to. So that's really incredible. If it's 40 energy, it's still gonna be good because it's gonna get access. It's gonna get access to those charge moves after 5 powder snows every time. Versus like if it's 35 energy, it'll be 5 then 4, similar to like Celio with body slam. And this is gonna be a stab 35 energy 60 damage move. We know how crazy those moves are because they went out and nerfed Weather Ball that had these like exact stats: 35 energy, 60 damage. Now it's 55 damage, just because of how good it was, right? And it's going to be pretty incredible. So this is a extremely, if you're into battling in Great or Ultra League, it's extremely imperative that you have these fields ready to evolve into Walrein, because Walrein is going to be absolutely everywhere, right? It's not going to be. It's not. I'm not saying it's going to be a Zoom roll in Great League, or it's not going to be the number one. It's not going to be Trevenant in Ultra League, but it's going to be really good. So let's go over some of the simulations I've prepared in advance. So I have comparing it to its probably like closest comparison that you could find, which is going to be Lapras in Great League and in Ultra League, and I have these various even shield scenarios. In this case, this is the zero shield versus the Great League meta, and I'm using PvPoke Battle, and I'm using the Matrix mode. And this is the zero shield, and you can see that they largely perform the same, right? They both have the same type. They both have ice fast moves. They both have like cheap cheapish charge moves that both have stab. So Surf, and in this case, I'm using Weather Ball, Ice as a proxy. Obviously, the Icicle Sphere could do more damage. It could be more energy, but I'm hoping 35 and 60 that would be amazing. And then as well, and then they both have a more expensive coverage move. In this case, Lapras has Skull Bash, which is a normal move, and then which is good against like water types and for just providing coverage. Versus like Earthquake, again, is really good for almost everything that ice resists. Earthquake hits for super effective or neutral damage. There's like Surskit is like the only Pokemon in Pokemon Go that resists both, and it only goes to like 900 CP if you best buddy it. So, and as well, it would probably still lose to Walrein. So you can see like they're pretty similar in terms of like how they perform. Some of these things are kind of weird. Like obviously, it would be able to be in a non-play rough Azumarill, which is really nice. But Lapras also does that. The one matchup it does pick up. This is kind of weird. This is actually slightly incorrect. I'm not sure why it shows this way, but it does much better in the Zero Shield versus Bastion. You can see the Earthquake almost KOs the Bastion, and then the one shield's actually bait dependent. If you're able to land that Icicle Sphere bait, then you're going to be able to win that one shield, which is honestly pretty crazy, right? That's not something that Lapras can easily do. Lapras does have the super effective Surf, but double super effective Earthquake is just much better. And you can see that Lapras is more bulky than Walrein. So if we go, for example, if we go Lapras here, and then we go Walrein, and we go like the rank 1 in both of them, you can see even the non-rank 1 extra performance. So you can see that it's like quite a bit bulkier, right? We're talking about like 8-9% bulk, but we're talking about like slightly different moves, which actually translate to quite a big difference. Like Walrein has like decent bulk. It's not super bulky, it's not super glassy. And you can see they perform largely the same. It has a much better Drapion matchup in the Zero because it's able to land the EQ, which again, Drapion's only weak to ground. It has the better Galvantula matchup, right? Just because it's able to spam the moves more quickly. Has a better Greedent matchup, slightly worse Hypno matchup, but you can see they perform largely the same. It also has the worst Machamp matchup, but you can see. I'm not sure why it's showing the one shield in these sims here. This is very weird here. I'm not entirely sure. Actually, let me quickly redo this one here. Okay. All right. We're gonna go on Matrix here, just showing you everyone how I do it, and we're gonna go Great League here, and we're gonna go to the Zero Shield. Great League meta. Okay, here you go. This is actually much better. You can see that Lapras does perform better against Azumarill, but it's again pretty close to pretty similar. It has the better Bastion matchup. Again, like it's not all about winning a specific matchup. Like if you can soften the Bastion, then it obviously makes it a lot easier for the other Pokemon here. You see, it has a much better Drapion matchup, but Lapras also does quite well against Drapion. It actually has the worst Galvantula matchup in the Zero, but it will have the better matchup in the one shield. You can see here, this is one really critical matchup, which is the Jellicent matchup. You can see Lapras just absolutely gets destroyed by Jellicent, which is one of the reasons why in regular Premier, like with XLs, it's very difficult to run Lapras because if you run into a Jellicent, which is basically everywhere, then you're going to get walled, and it makes it really difficult here. You can see that even up 2 shields to 0, Lapras loses that matchup. They can even straight Shadow Ball, and if they straight Shadow Ball, Lapras would actually win the 2-0 shield versus Walrein. Especially if they don't run Bubble Beam, let's say they run Hex, even with Hex, then Walrein can actually win the 1 and 2 shields, obviously bait dependent. And if they run Bubble, then it's even better. It's even more clear matchup. You probably still need to bait, but if you don't bait, you can still win the 1 and 2 shield straight EQ against the Jellicent when it has Bubble and and no bubble beam. And if it has a hex, you can still win the one shield versus Jellison. If they don't have bubble beam, obviously the bubble beam bait like hurts it. Makes Jellison more bait dependent. But if they don't have bubble beam, then you can just straight EQ and then in the one shield and then land the. In this case, I have the ice weather ball, but you can the ice ghost sphere in the one shield. So that's actually like really incredible part, and that's like one of the big differences that Walrein has over Lapras. You see, all the matchups are pretty similar. It has a worse Mew matchup, mostly because that bulk makes a pretty big difference there. It has the worst zero shield Pidgeot matchup, just because like Pidgeot's able to Brave Bird it and Walrein's not able to survive. I'm sure if you threw at a more, maybe if you can deny, or also like this is going to do like slightly more damage, it would probably do like 5 more damage. It would still probably lose to it, but you can see here, this is where the bulk makes a really big difference here. And favors Lapras in that scenario. You can see it has a better Sableye matchup just because it's able to get those moves off much more quickly. And then as well against the G-Fist. G-Fist is an interesting one here, where it's able to have a better 1 and 2 shield matchup because obviously it creates some bait dependencies. Has a better Tropius matchup. Has a slightly worse Umbreon matchup, but you can see they largely perform really similar. But Walrein before wasn't even in the conversation. So the Bastiodon and the Jellison situations are really critical for Walrein. But Walrein really shines in the shield, like where there's more shields, just because it does allow it to be a little bit more, allow it to bait more. So here's the one shield. In the Great League, you can see here it picks up the Bastiodon as we've seen previously. It picks up the Drapion. Has a better Galvantula matchup. You can see it has a better Machamp matchup just because it's able to get to the Weather Ball like one turn sooner or 2 turns sooner than the Machamp is able to get to the cross shop. So that's actually really nice. It has a better Meganium matchup. Again, more ice pressure. It acts much more of an ice Pokemon. Has the better Pidgeot matchup, even in the bait-dependent one shield. Skarmory has a slightly better matchup. It has the better Toxicroak matchup in the one, but you can see there's in the Venusaur matchup. So even though Lapras and Walrein are very similar, Walrein is much more of an ice attacker with like a better coverage move, while Lapras is a bulkier, truer water type than Walrein. Walrein is like its charge moves and its fast moves don't have no water in it, right? So it's going to perform much more worse when it's in those scenarios. And if we go to the 2 shield matchup, you can see that again it has the better Bastion matchup. Has the better Kofagrigus matchup just because it's able to spam more. Has the better Hypno matchup as we go along. Again, some of these are bait dependent. Has the better Alolan Marowak matchup. Again, that's probably bait dependent. Has a better Meganium matchup, so they're actually able to beat Meganium in the 2 shield. Has a better Mew matchup, again, because it's able to outpace the Mew in terms of the Mew being able to get to the Wild Charge. Has the better Nidoqueen matchup in the 2 shield. The better Pelipper matchup, and all these like fantastic matchups all across the board. Better G-Fist matchup. You can see like it just like it like Lapras is good, but Walrein, in my opinion, is the better Pokemon, and that the differences are going to become even more clear in when we move to the Ultra League. So this is the Ultra League Premier Classic, which I think is going to be Walrein's best league. And you can see here, this is the Zero Shield, and you can see that has the better Clefable matchup. But you can see like the one big matchup, which is going to be amazing for Walrein, is that has the better Empoleon matchup, right? It can literally just straight EQ, and Empoleon does not have a chance. It can be down a shield and beat Empoleon. That's pretty crazy. And this is like it breaks one of the best cores that we know in Premier Classic, which is going to be the Dragonite Empoleon core. It also like breaks the Mandibuzz Empoleon core in Great League that you sometimes see, right? So this is like pretty incredible that it absolutely just dominates Empoleon, right? There's no, and that's mostly because of the Power Snow. That's all entirely because of the Power Snow, and obviously having the Earthquake before. It does have the worst Zero Shield matchup against the Kingdra. Again, that's like where Lapras's bulk really comes in handy. It's able to survive the outrage and get off the move. It has the better Alolan Muck matchup. Any of the dark poisons, it has a much better matchup in the Zero Shield. Has a slightly worse Snorlax matchup. Again, that's just because of the superpower, and that's where the bulk makes a difference for Lapras. And then, as you can see here, it actually has the better Typhlosion, Trevenant, a number of different matchups. It actually has the slightly worse Venusaur matchup in the Zero Shoot, which actually is pretty interesting, mostly because Lapras can survive. This is also dependent on that Lapras does sneak in a move. If like Venusaur does deny at when it throws the Frenzy Plant right away, then Venusaur would likely win that matchup. But again, Walrein shines when there's more shields up. So this is the one shield matchup. Again, you can see that Lapras and Walrein like are in my opinion, when Premier first came out, Lapras was the best Pokemon in the meta, and it's still one of the best Pokemon in the meta in Premier Classic. But Walrein is arguably better than Lapras just because of the better coverage and more spammy charge moves. It has the better Gallade matchup in the one shield, which is kind of crazy. Has the better Goodra matchup again, just because it's able to throw the stab weather ball, and then as well it's able to be able to outpace the Goodra, which is pretty critical. It has the better one shield matchup. Oh, that's probably like bait dependent in terms of no like Octazooka dependent. And you can see here has a better Swampert matchup, which is really critical. The better Typhlosion matchup. Again, these are probably bait dependent. When we actually look at it, I doubt Walrein. It's almost for sure Walrein can't straight EQ. Yeah, for sure Walrein can't straight EQ. So this is going to be more bait dependent. If we go to the two shield, we can see that it has the worst charge line matchup, which makes sense, right? Because it doesn't have the water moves, right? It has the slightly better Escavalier matchup. It's not a big deal. Again, it has the better Gallade matchup just because it's able to outpace the Gallade. The better Gyarados matchup because Gyarados, now you don't have to go to Skull Bash to hit it for neutral damage. Has the better Alolan Muck matchup. It has so many like amazing matchups. It has the better Venusaur matchup. Right, I'm really excited to see how Walrein is going to perform in Premier Classic. And then I've generated some custom rankings by doing a move over rate with Walrein. And obviously these rankings are like really basic and like don't take into consideration advanced simulation. Like Azumarill is like rank 53, which obviously is not realistic. But you can see here Walrein is actually rank number 12 and is like up there with like some of the best Pokemon in the meta. And this is in the Open Great League. If we go to this is Premier Classic, so no legendaries, no mythicals. You can see Walrein's number 5, and you can if you look at the top, it does very well against Trevenant, beats Trevenant. It does well against Swampert, does well against Nidoqueen. Obviously, it loses to Machamp. There's also a weird moveset for Machamp to have, but you can see it performs really well. And then as well even in open Ultra League, it is one of the top 10 Pokemon in the meta. Again, it performs well against Trevenant, Giratina, loses to Defense Deoxys, has a good matchup against Jephus, Nidoqueen, Swampert, and it's just like it's going to be an absolute beast of a Pokemon, and it's something that you definitely must have. And if we were overall summary of this, we can see that Walrein is going to get a significant buff. Hopefully, it's 35 energy, because then that will make it instantly, like in my opinion, top 20 in Great League, and then top 10 in Ultra, including Open, Premier, and then top 5 in Premier Classic. I think it's going to be one of the best Pokemon in the meta. It won't replace Lapras. As you can see, some of the matchups are different. Lapras is a better water attacker, while Walrein is a better ice attacker, but is a very good substitute. And in some cases, it will fit your team better, especially if you have a team that is weak to Jellicent, right? Then you're talking about where you have like a much better like bait dependent matchup, and even it just doesn't get walled as easily. Like Walrein just won't get walled, right? Like Walrein, like rain, the reign of walling this ice water types is gonna be over, right? Earth or like ground, not earth, ground ice is just fantastic coverage. I'm really excited for this. So let me know your thoughts. Do you think Walrein will be useful Pokemon? Do you think it'll be meta, or do you think it's overhyped right now? Or do we need to wait and see how much energy it's going to cost? I think if it's 40 energy, it's probably going to fall into like, top like 30, 40 in Great League, and then maybe like top 20 in Ultra, and maybe top 10 in Premier Classic. I think the 35 energy is really critical for it because it will allow it to outpace in the one shield against a lot of Pokemon that are able to get to the moves after 5 seconds, versus like but again, I think it's going to be fantastic regardless, and something that you definitely want to grind and make sure you have a good one. Let me know if you want me to do analysis of whether or not it's going to be worth it for shadows. I'm sure Swag Tips is going to do a video on IVs, which I think is really important and definitely something you want to check out. But let me know if you want me to do a comparison. Is it worth it to have the shadow variant? Like I'm super excited about this. I'm super excited to see a new Pokemon in Ultra League that doesn't require XLs, right? It's going to be very accessible because it's going to be part of this community day. Obviously, for future people that can't participate in community day, it's gonna suck because it's going to be such a good Pokemon. But hopefully, people are able to participate in it and use it to its full effect. But anyways, I'm gonna leave it there. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see everyone in the next video.